السبيل. Say, O Prophet, shall I inform you of those who deserve a worse punishment from Allah than the rebellious? It is those who earned Allah's condemnation and displeasure, some being reduced to apes and pigs, and worshippers of false gods. These are far worse in rank and further astray from the right way. وَإِذَا جَاءُكُمْ قَالُوا آمَنَّا وَقَدْ دَخَلُوا بِالْكُفْرِ وَهُمْ قَدْ خَرَجُوا بِهِ وَاللَّهُ عَالَمُ بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْتُمُونَ. When they come to you, believers, they say, we believe. But they are committed to disbelief when they enter and when they leave, and Allah knows what they hide. وَتَرَى كَثِيرًا مِّنْهُمْ يُسَارِعُونَ فِي الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ وَأَكْلِهِمُ السُّحْتَ لَبِئْسَ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. You see many of them racing towards sin, transgression, and consumption of forbidden gain. Evil indeed are their actions. لولا ينهاهم الربانيون والأحبار عن قولهم الإثم وأكلهم السحت لبئس ما كانوا يصنعون. Why do their rabbis and scholars not forbid them from saying what is sinful and consuming what is unlawful? Evil indeed is their inaction. وقالت اليهود يد الله مغلولة غلت أيديهم ولعنوا بما قالوا بل يداه مبسوطتان ينفق كيف يشاء وليزيدن كثيرا منهم ما أنزل إليك من ربك طغيانا وكفرا والقينا بينهم العداوة والبغضاء إلى يوم القيامة كلما أوقدوا نارا للحرب بأطفأها الله ويسعون في الأرض فسادا والله لا يحب المفسدين. Some among the Jews said, Allah is tight-fisted. May their fists be tied and they be condemned for what they said. Rather, He is open-handed, giving freely as He pleases. That which has been revealed to you, O Prophet, from your Lord will only cause many of them to increase in wickedness and disbelief. We have stirred among them hostily and hatred until the day of judgment. Whenever they kindle the fire of war, Allah puts it out, and they strive to spread corruption in the land. And Allah does not like corruptors. ولو أن أهل الكتاب آمنوا واتقوا لكفرنا عنهم سيئاتهم ولأدخلناهم جنات النعيم. Had the people of the book only been faithful and mindful of Allah, we would have certainly absolved them of their sins and admitted them into the gardens of bliss. ولو أنهم أقاموا التوراة والإنجيل وما أنزل إليهم من ربهم لأكلوا من فوقهم ومن تحت أرجلهم منهم أمة مقتصدة وكثيرا منهم ساء ما يعملون. And had they observed the Torah, the Gospel, and what has been revealed to them from their Lord, they would have been overwhelmed with provisions from above and below. Some among them are upright, yet many do nothing but evil. يا أيها الرسول يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته والله يعصمك من الناس إن الله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته والله يعصمك من الناس إن الله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين.
O Messenger, convey everything revealed to you from your Lord. If you do not, then you will have not delivered His message. Allah will certainly protect you from the people. Indeed, Allah does not guide the people who disbelieve.
صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Thank you, Baqir and Jafar, for that very beautiful recitation of Quran in Arabic and the translation so that we can all understand those beautiful verses. I would now like to welcome Ali Ibrahim for the recitation of poetry. Please welcome him up with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Salawat.
علي حيدر يا كرار 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 علي حيدر يا كرار. Everyone with me. علي حيدر يا كرار علي حيدر يا كرار علي حيدر يا كرار علي حيدر يا كرار. Every struggle that I've ever had, I said your name and the troubles passed. You were there each time I ever asked. With you every hardship I surpassed. In darkness light, Ali, the strength to fight, Ali. You never leave your lovers outside of your side, Ali. From my first breath and until death, I'll say Nara Haydari. علي حيدر يا كرار علي حيدر يا كرار علي حيدر يا كرار علي حيدر يا كرار. Roses bloom of wisdom when he speaks. His words wisdom eloquence, his words eloquence upon his peak. I am but a drop within his sea. He who saved the prophet in his sleep. The path that's straight, Ali, it is your fate, Ali. Wherever you go, the truth flows beneath your feet, Ali. No one can enter the city of knowledge without you, Ali. علي حيدر يا كرار علي حيدر يا كرار علي حيدر يا كرار علي حيدر يا كرار. On the blessed day your hand was raised, the messenger's tongue and Ali's praise. I leave you to think so you don't stray. Ali is your master from this day. Hujjatullah Ali, ولي الله علي وجه الله نور الله عين الله علي. How can you claim to know Allah without knowing what Mawla means? علي حيدر يا كرار 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 علي حيدر يا كرار. صلوات.
Thank you, Ali Ibrahim, for that very beautiful recitation. I would now like to welcome Qasim and Abbas Hamadani and Yusuf Jafri to recite a poem in English. Please welcome them up with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
صلوات.
لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله علي ولي الله علي ولي الله علي ولي الله. نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب تجد عونا لك في النوائب. كل هم وغم سينجلي كل هم وغم سينجلي بعظمتك يا الله بنبوتك يا محمد بولايتك. Your name Ali gives me power. With it enemies they cower. Just like the prophet in Khaybar, I will call your name Ya Haydar. My strength is determination. My love for you is no question. To uphold this is my mission, as through you is God's submission. Ali is the path of Allah, La ilaha illallah. The great servant of Allah, La ilaha illallah. نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب تجده عونا لك في النوائب. كل هم وغم سينجلي كل هم وغم سينجلي بعدامتك يا الله بنبوتك يا محمد بولايتك. They can kill us or oppress us, but we'll remain loyal like Abbas. And despite the age of our youth, like Akbar, we'll fight for the truth. Until death we'll speak of Ghadir. Raise was the hand of our Amir. We called out your name without fear. We proudly say that we adhere. You are the truth of Allah, La ilaha illallah. You're the justice of Allah, La ilaha illallah. نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب تجده عونا لك في النوائب. كل هم وغم سينجلي كل هم وغم سينجلي بعظمتك يا الله بنبوتك يا محمد بولايتك. The Lord had put forth a vision. Ali is Allah's decision. Prophet's mission would be in vain without Ali taking its reins. Your great legacy I will teach till the whole world your name does reach. The youth will learn about Haydar. They will defeat their own Khaybar. You're the brave lion of Allah, La ilaha illallah.
You're the pride of the Kaaba, La ilaha illallah. نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب تجد عونا لك في النوائب كل هم وغم سينجلي كل هم وغم سينجلي بعظمتك يا الله بنبوتك يا محمد بولايتك علي 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 أدركني صلوات. Get off the stage.
Thank you, Qasim and Abbas Hamadani and Yusuf Jafri for that very beautiful recitation of poetry. It's nice to see all of the young members of the community joining in. Inshallah, we'll have many more next time. Now, I would like to welcome Muhammad Ibrahim to please recite some poetry for us as well. Please welcome him up with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Salawat. Heaven and earth at your disposal, Imam of jinn and of the angels, your breath, your death, a selfless battle, your birth, your life, what a miracle. The holy Kaaba was to be built center of the world. Ordained Allah to Nabi Ibrahim Khalilullah. In blessed Makkah, the house was to be kept pure and honored. All for the arrival of that special Ali Waliullah. عاشقتم دیوانتم یا مولا Ali. Crazy in love with you, I am my master Ali. عاشقتم دیوانتم یا مولا Ali. You're my pride, my joy, my honor, oh Allah's wali. Today's your day, oh Allah's delight. Someday I pray to have you in my sight. Shoulder of Prophet, heart of Fatima. Your Haqq, your Quran personified. The Holy Prophet didn't leave no doubt regarding you. Whomsoever, I'm the master, Ali's his master too. They say the Prophet had no shadow, how possibly is this true? Ali was the moon, the shadow of Nabi Habibullah. عاشقتم دیوانتم یا مولا Ali. Crazy in love with you, I am my master Ali. عاشقتم دیوانتم یا مولا Ali. You're my pride, my joy, my honor, oh Allah's wali. Crazy, you make me feel your Mawla Ali. Truly, so madly, I'm in love with you, Ali. Ali, oh Ali of Allah Almighty. Open my heart and you'll see that it beats Ali, Ali. عاشقتم دیوانتم یا مولا Ali. Crazy in love with you, I am my master Ali. Ashiqatum divanatum ya Mawla Ali. You're my pride, my joy, my honor, oh Allah's wali. Salawat. Oh, you, tears on my cheeks, out of love you may fall, and tell stories about a man that is the greatest of them all. Let all the hearts beat for this day. Let us celebrate. Shia proudly we be. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Nara Haydari, labbaika ya Ali. Nara Haydari, labbaika ya Ali. Nara Haydari. Everyone. Nara Haydari, labbaika ya Ali. Nara Haydari, labbaika ya Ali. Nara Haydari, labbaika ya Ali. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. You will hear a voice from afar, a call that was sent to the stars. No man was created like Ali. No sword was made like Zulfikar. Nara Haydari, labbaika ya Ali. Nara Haydari, labbaika ya Ali. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Let the mountains of Uhud speak with the voice of Musa's flame. Ali was strong and they were weak. There is no need to mention their names. Nara Haydari, labbaika ya Ali. Nara Haydari, labbaika ya Ali. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Like Suleiman, he had a kingdom, or a janab where knowledge came from. In the nights he would feed the poor. Out of him emanated such nur. Nara Haydari, labbaika ya Ali. Nara Haydari, labbaika ya Ali. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith. We will wait to receive your call to Najaf, where your shrine stands tall. We crave to be with you, O Ali. Toward you we would love to crawl. Now shout out with me as loud as it can be. لبيك يا علي نارا هدري لبيك يا علي. Let Haydar be our faith. Let Haydar be our faith.
Let Haydar be your faith.
Salawat.
Thank you, Muhammad and Ali Ibrahim, for that very beautiful recitation of poetry. We will now be having a kahoot for the younger members of our community. But before we do, can everyone please move up with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad? All the way up. If the men can move up and the women can move up just a little bit as well, so that way there's room for people who will be joining us later on in the program. All right, we'll be setting up the kahoot. If all the young members of the community can borrow their siblings or their parents' phones, inshallah, we'll be starting the kahoot in the next couple minutes. Please recite a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. All right, everybody can open kahoot.it and input the code 752-8391 or scan the QR code on the TV. We'll be beginning in the next 2 minutes. Please recite a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. All right, can everybody see the TV?
I can't read the questions.
You can't what?
I can't read the questions. It's sitting over there.
You can, because I'm going to watch you.
Oh, right.
All right, we have a few participants. We're going to give everybody another couple minutes to join, and then we're going to start. Sorry? All right, if you're logging on, then we're going to start a countdown. We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to start the Kahoot now.
I'm going to read the questions out loud so that if you can't see it, you can at least hear me read it. The first question is, what does Ghadir mean? Is it the greatest, a title of Imam Ali, a fountain or a pool of water, or none of the above?
Red is the greatest, blue is a title of Imam Ali, yellow is a fountain / pool of water, and green is none of the above.
All right, the correct answer is a fountain or a pool of water. Good job.
Good job. Most people got the correct answer. Let's see who's on the leaderboard. Nada Hedri is on top. I like that name. Nada Hedri on top. Then Pakistan, SBC, Ali Raza 2, and Ya Allah. These are all really good names. Question 2.
The second question is, when was Eid al-Ghadir? What date and what year? The first option is the 18th of Dhul Hijjah, 10 AH. The second option in blue is the 17th of Dhul Hijjah, 9 AH. The yellow option is 18th of Dhul Hijjah and 12 AH. And the green option is the 24th of Dhul Hijjah, 10 AH. And the correct answer is the red one, 18th of Dhul Hijjah, and the 10 years after.
Right. Nada Hedri fell to second with Pakistan on top, and then Ya Ali, Ghadiri, and Rahila. All right. Good job, everybody.
All right, so this one isn't, this is just going to be an open answer. So if anyone knows which ayah from the Quran was revealed relating to the day of Ghadir. So the first option is, your guardian is only Allah, His apostle, and the faithful who will maintain the prayer and give the zakat while bowing down. Surah 5, Ayah 5. The second option is, this day have I perfected your religion for you, completed my favor upon you, and chosen Islam for you as your religion. Surah 5, Ayah 3. The third option is, indeed Allah desires to repel all impurity from you, Ahlul Bayt, people of the household, and purify you with the thorough purification. Surah 33, Ayah 33. And the last option is, indeed we have granted you, O Prophet, abundant goodness. Surah 108, Ayah 1. So raise your hands if you can tell us which answer choice is the correct one.
I think Ali Ibrahim, I saw your hand first, and then there's one person in the back.
Does anyone else want to give an answer?
All right, what do you think? What's your name? Shariat? All right, what's your guess?
I think Surah 5, Ayah 3.
All right, good. Anyone else? What is your guess? Surah 5, Ayah 3, what's your guess? Surah 5, Ayah 3, anyone else?
All right, we have a consensus, so the correct answer is Surah 5, Ayah 3. This day have I perfected your religion for you, completed my favor upon you, and chosen for you Islam as your religion.
It's good. All of our youth know all the answers. That's really good.
All right, the next question. What is recommended to do on the day of Ghadir? A. Prayer of Eid al-Ghadir. B. Reciting Ziyarat Aminullah. C. Ghusl. And D. All of the above.
Only a few seconds left. Remember, you get more points if you answer quickly and correctly than if you take your time.
Good job.
Good job. Almost everybody gets the correct answer. Pakistan is still number one with Nada Hedri in close second. And then Ghadiri, Rahila, and Ya Allah. Good job. Let's see, can anyone break the leaderboard?
About how many Muslims were estimated to be present on the day of Ghadir? So was it less than 1,000, about 10,000, up to 100,000, or up to 20,000?
Up to 100,000. Good job. All right. Uh-oh, Nada Hedri is back in first place. That's a really good name in first place. Then Pakistan and Ghadiri is closing in on second. Then Ya Allah and Rahila. Good job. Let's see if anyone can get into the leaderboard who's not on there right now.
All right. True or false? The event of Ghadir is only mentioned in Shia sources.
True or false? Good. Almost everybody answered correctly. The event of Ghadir is mentioned in both Shia and Sunni sources. Good job. Nada Hedri in first. Same leaderboard.
The next question is, why is the day of Ghadir significant? This is a little bit long, so take your time to read it. The first option, Imam Ali was appointed as a successor by the Prophet. It was the hottest day in Arabian history. C, it falls 1 week after Eid al-Adha. And D, many Muslims were coming back from Hajj with the Prophet Muhammad.
Oh wow, everybody answered really quickly. The correct answer is the one that most people answered. I can't read it from here. Good job.
Most people got it right. The correct answer is, this is the day that Imam Ali alayhi salam was appointed as a successor by the Prophet Muhammad.
Good job. Oh, Hussein has come onto the leaderboard. And Nada Hedri is still in first place, but the gaps are closing.
The next question is, Eid al-Ghadir is when the religion of Islam was perfected. True or false?
Let's see, who remembers the ayah? Good. True. Almost everybody got it.
That is true. Eid al-Ghadir is when the religion of Islam was perfected.
The excitement is very good to see.
The next question is, how many years older than Imam Ali alayhi salam was the Prophet? So basically, what is the age difference between the Prophet and Imam Ali?
2 years. It's not that much. 2 years.
Let's see who was paying attention in Sunday school. We just had our graduation a couple weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago tomorrow.
The correct answer is 30 years.
Uh-oh. Seems like the leaderboard is about to change. Oh, wow.
I got it wrong.
A lot of people have jumped up. Ghadiri is now in fifth. Kumail is in fourth. And Ya Allah is in second. This is good. The gaps are going to keep closing.
All right, the next question is, which prophet prepared a grave for Imam Ali alayhi salam? Was it A, Prophet Isa, B, Prophet Muhammad, C, Prophet Nuh, or D, Prophet Adam? The correct answer is Prophet Nuh.
Oh, wow, it completely changed. Let's go a few more questions and then we'll take a closer look.
True or false? Lady Fatima alayhi salam was present on the day on Eid al-Ghadir.
See, everyone's very confident. Let's see what the answers look like. Three, 2, 1, true.
That is true. Lady Fatima alayhi salam was present.
All right. Oh, wow. Complete change, and Rahila had an amazing comeback. Let's keep on going.
All right, the next question is, what famous sentence did the Prophet say on the day of Ghadir? Did he say, "Oh Ali, you are to me as Harun was to Musa, but there is no prophet after me"? Or, "For whoever I am his leader," or "Mawla, Ali is his leader or Mawla"? Did he say, "Ali is from me and I am from Ali"? Oh,
Uh-oh.
all right, the correct answer was, "For whoever I am his leader, Ali is his leader."
Good job. And another radical change. Nada Hedri making a comeback.
Now we're going to move to the Eid al-Mubahala. So when was the day of Mubahala? Was it the 24th of Dhul Hijjah, the 18th of Dhul Hijjah, the 1st of Shawwal, or the 20th of Dhul Hijjah? The correct answer is the 24th of Dhul Hijjah. Good job. Most people got that one right.
Good job. Uh-oh, another small change. Next question.
What does the word Mubahala mean?
Ooh.
Is it
Who
A, a
studies it?
meeting, B, a contest, C, charity, or D, a prayer where God's curse is invoked on the side holding false beliefs? The correct answer is a prayer where God's curse is invoked on the side holding false belief.
Good
Most
job.
people got that one right.
And another small change.
The next question is, who was not among the 5 people that the Prophet brought for the event of Mubahala? Is it A, Imam Ali, B, Imam Hussein, C, Lady Zainab, or D, Lady Fatima?
Oh, wow. Almost everybody got it right again. Good job.
Lady Zainab was not among the 5 people that the Prophet brought.
No changes here. See the next question.
Who did the Prophet ﷺ bring with him as his child or children to the event of Mubahala? Was it A, Lady Fatima, B, Imam Hassan, C, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, or D, Imam Hussein and Kulthum? The correct answer is Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein.
Good job. Let's see.
gonna go to the
One
next
small
question.
change. Let's keep going.
Which people came to argue with the Prophet in what resulted in the events of Mubahala? Was it A, pagans, B, Jews, C, Christians, or D, members of Quraysh?
Oh, wow. Good job.
That one
Almost
was really
everybody
fast.
got that one right. Let's try to keep it a little bit quiet so the people in the back who can't see can hear the questions. Can have some fun, but keep it a little bit quieter. That's good.
The correct answer were the Christians.
Small change.
So why did the Prophet initially refuse to meet with the Christians? Was it A, because they were dressed in fine clothes? B, because Allah revealed an ayah of Quran that prohibited the meeting? C, because he didn't want to? Or D, none of the above?
Let's see, who was paying extra close attention in Sunday school? There's a group up here who's collaborating on the answer. Let's see if you guys can beat them.
All right, only one person got it.
Good job. Good job. Whoever SBC is, good job for getting that one right.
The next question is, where were the Christians who came to meet with the Prophet ﷺ from? Were they from Abyssinia? Were they from Najran? Were they from Sham? Or were they from Kufa?
A lot of excitement. That's good. Good job.
The correct answer is Najran. They were from Najran.
Pakistan made an amazing comeback there, but the leaderboard hasn't changed.
All right. What is the significance of Eid al-Mubahala for Shias? Is it A, it shows how close the Ahlul Bayt were to the Prophet and therefore Allah? B, it shows that Christians were willing to learn Arabic? C, it helps us understand the role of women in Islam? Or D, it was when Imam Ali alayhi salam was appointed as the successor?
Oh, good job. Most people got that one.
Got that. So the event that Imam Ali alayhi salam was appointed as the successor was Eid al-Ghadir, not Eid al-Mubahala.
Good job. And, 2 replacements on the leaderboard. That's good. This is the last question, so this is your last chance.
Last question. What are the recommended acts of Amal on Eid al-Mubahala? Is it A, performing ghusl? B, giving charity to the needy? C, reciting ziyarat of Imam Ali alayhi salam? Oh, that was fast. Or D, all of the above? The correct answer is all of the above.
The trick is when there's all of the above, collect all of the above. In third place, Rahila, good job. 1,400 points. In second place, Ya Allah. And in first place is Pakistan. I think I have a pretty good guess on who Pakistan is, with the runner-ups being Ali Raza 2 and SBC. Good job. Ya Ali. Good job to everybody who participated, and inshallah you all learned something, or you made sure that you knew everything that you learned in Sunday school. With that, I request everybody to move up with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. With that, I would like to welcome Hujjatul Islam Sayyid Sulaiman Hassan to give the speech portion of tonight's program. Please welcome him with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And please move closer.
صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. Once again, for the elevation of the message of Islam and the name and the mission of our Prophet and Imam Ali and Ahlul Bayt and Imam Mahdi, a louder salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Bari'il Khalaiq Ajma'een. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين المبعوث رحمة للعالمين شفيع المذنبين وحبيب قلوب الصادقين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم إلى قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters, mu'mineen and mu'minat, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to begin by offering my congratulations, my du'as, first of all to the Imam of our time, and then to all mu'mineen and mu'minat, in particular those of us who are present here to remember and celebrate and commemorate on the very auspicious occasion of Eid Ghadir Khum, or commonly known as Eid al-Ghadir or Eid Ghadir, the anniversary of the day in which the leadership and the imamate of the brother and the heir and the successor and in fact the self of our Prophet was proclaimed for all Muslims and for all humanity when our Prophet raised the arm of Amir al-Mu'mineen in the presence of tens of thousands of Muslims and said, Man kuntu mawlahu fa aliyun mawla. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. That is a very important day. Not just in the history of Islam, not just as an event that took place in the lifetime of the Prophet, but as a living reminder of what it is that keeps Islam alive. Because the life of Islam is not a statistic that we can say, and some of you may have seen that the demographic trends and recently released Pew surveys, they say that the number of Muslims is increasing more rapidly than any other religion, and perhaps within the next few decades, Islam may overtake Christianity as the most populous religion in the world, and some Muslims are very happy that our demographics are younger and more fertile, meaning that we have bigger families and we have a greater retention of our members. Or if there are, unfortunately, some Muslims who may distance themselves from their religion and from their identity, then there are a greater number of people whose hearts are illuminated and who enter into Islam. For some people, that is a source of great pride. And it is a matter of pride. There is a reason why Islam is better able to protect its members from the harm of materialism and all of the spiritual diseases that come in the modern world based on the temptations of media and entertainment and an unjust economic system and social and political system. It is a matter of pride. And it should be something that we think about and that we give importance to, because for a human being to be able to protect our own emotional and spiritual well-being and to provide greater protection to our families and our communities, that is one of the gifts of Islam. I don't want to take away from the fact that it is the beauty of Islam that gives that protection. And it is the beauty and the simplicity of Islam that invites people to join Islam, even if we don't have the media campaigns and the other forms of influence that other philosophies and other religions have in order to attract people on the basis of flashy messaging and packaging. But what I do want us to pause and think about, particularly on this day of Eid Ghadir Khum, is that if some Muslims think that, well, it is a matter of demographics, that other religions are losing more members than they are gaining, or that they don't have enough children to preserve their numbers, and so Muslims are going to win. But what have we won now that we have about 2 billion people, for us to say that just based on demographics, and if we overtake another religion or if we become a majority in another region of the world or another country, then we will something else? More economic power and more number might mean that you have more halal restaurants. You can find dhabiha food easier. And maybe if more Muslims cared, then you will find halal investments and non-interest loans, which in some cases are just interest loans prepackaged with a different label so that they can be Sharia compliant. But you might find these things. But it is a tragedy for Muslims to think that this is the victory, that this is the change that Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi brought for humanity. Now you would imagine, based on this limited horizon that unfortunately some Muslims have, that the Prophet could have done things a lot easier. He could have just said, you know what? In Mecca, we want to open a halal version of whatever butchers or shops the mushrikeen already had. Maybe we could have just packaged it to the mushrikeen that you do what you do in terms of oppressing the poor, enslaving people because they are in debt or because they lost a war, and all of those customs that you have. But just give this section of the society to Muslims so that you will have dhabiha meat. And we don't want to have public music and alcohol consumption. It's all good, but just do it behind the walls of your luxurious estates. That's the horizon that many Muslims have, and that's their slogan, and that is their pride. You saw it in the way that some Muslims, they dealt with events, even as there was a genocide in Gaza. For some Muslims, it was a greater and a more important battle to have a Sharia-compliant government in some of the areas that were supporting the resistance, even if that Sharia-compliant government is at peace with the ones who are committing the genocide against Muslims and against human beings. Is that Sharia compliance? You close some of the areas that are opposed to Islam. Yes, that is part of Islam. But then you are opening the gates to those people who want to destroy your identity, including your religion. And eventually they will take away from you even that superficial practice of salat and zakat and saum and halal food that you think are the essence of Islam. Ghadir is the day for us to remember that there is a heart and there is an essence of what protects Islam. And that is that you place your reliance only on Allah. And therefore, first and foremost, you oppose oppression and injustice. In Mecca, the Prophet didn't have an army. The Muslims, who were already marginalized and oppressed, when they became Muslims, then their life didn't become easier. Yasir and Sumayya, the mother and father of Ammar ibn Yasir. Bilal al-Habashi, the other early Muslims. They often came from hardship, but when they became Muslim, their hardship multiplied. And it multiplied because they followed the Prophet. So when we say oppose injustice, it doesn't mean that you make a banner and you publicize an opposition and a battle against a system. But what it means is that first in your heart, and then to the extent that circumstances permit, you know what is right, and you pray for, and you speak about, and you advocate for what is right. And then as circumstances permit, you assert what is fair and true and just to the benefit not just of yourselves, but to the benefit of all of humanity. Muslims and non-Muslims, allies and even your own enemies, or people who may not consider you to have the same dignity and the same rights that they do, but you still advocate and protect them according to what is the right and the dignity that their Creator Allah has given them. That is the heart. And then every one of the teachings that come within Islam, they are meant to reinforce that affiliation and recognition of what is just and what is true. And to strengthen our ability, once we recognize, to discipline ourselves, to be able to follow and to be able to strengthen that cause of justice. But if you take away that central message, then you can have your prayer, you can have your fasting, you can have your zakat, you can have your hajj, and no oppressor will be afraid. No evildoer will hesitate. In fact, they might tell you, let me build you a beautiful masjid with solid gold and marble. Pray all you want. I don't want to lessen the importance of prayer, because as-salat amudud deen. It is the pillar of religion. In qubilat qubila ma siwaha, wa in ruddat rudda ma siwaha. If your prayer is accepted, then your actions are accepted by Allah. And if your prayers are rejected, then your other actions are rejected. It is not to say that prayer is not important, but there is a reason why some people's prayers do not scare those who are the allies of shaitan and the followers of Abu Sufyan and Muawiyah and Yazid in their time and our time. But other people's prayers, they do shake the thrones and the palaces of those oppressors. Prayer is important. Zakat is important. Psalm is important. Hajj is important. But on Ghadir we affirm that they are important and they are valuable if they are rooted in and connected to and bring us towards a proper understanding of wilayah. Otherwise, without wilayah, you can have all of those things, but you will not come close to Allah. And if you are not close to Allah, then you will not come close to Rasulullah. And of course, you will not be able to come close to the purposes for which Allah revealed the book of the Quran and the teachings of Islam. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And when we speak of wilayah, then what we are speaking of is that thread that begins from our Creator and extends from the message and the messenger our Creator sent. The Quran is part of wilayah, and the Prophet is part of wilayah, and continues to the extension and the executor of that message in every generation and every time, from the moment the Prophet left this world until the present time and until the day of judgment. So wilayah is not about Imam Ali or about Imam Mahdi, but rather it is that thread that connects us to Allah and the Prophet and the Quran, and through them to Imam Ali and each of our Imams. In fact, it is the essence of Islam. Because Islam, it is the religion of Tawheed. It is the religion of the Quran. But Tawheed and the Quran are only present if you have the leadership of the Prophet and his example that you follow. And the leadership of the Prophet and his example is only present if you have the wilayah of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam and the Imams after him. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So the pride of Islam is not the demographics. Because 2 million Muslims, and they might make their peace with the greatest evil that humanity has seen. A genocide that continues for almost 2 years, without regard to the age or the innocence or even the religion of those who are being oppressed. And those who say that while Islam is winning the battle, if 2 billion couldn't do anything, then 4 billion will not do anything either. If they do not have a recognition and a connection to wilayah. But if they have that connection and that inspiration, then it isn't the billions, but even a small number, they can move mountains and they can change the destiny of the world. Whether you are aligned against a superpower or all of the powers of this material world, if Allah is your Mawla, and the Prophet is your Wali, and Ahlul Bayt are your awliya, then there is nothing that you have to fear. Today we are commemorating 2 events. One is Eid Ghadir Khum, and the other is Mubahala. Mubahala is a very beautiful instance of this very principle that it isn't your numbers that you should be proud of. In the previous year, after the conquest of Mecca, the Muslims, as the Quran describes, they were very proud of their numbers. 10,000 soldiers, 2,000 additional new Muslims who had come from Mecca. أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ كَثْرَتُكُمْ. You were so happy that now we're no longer the 313 poorly armed soldiers that we had in Badr. If we were able to win in Badr, if we were able to turn the tables in spite of difficulty in Ahzab, the Battle of Khandaq, and achieve a victory in Khaybar, then some Muslims thought, أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ كَثْرَتُكُمْ, your numbers now in Hunayn mean that you cannot be defeated. But there was a difference. It doesn't solve any problems. If it is your material resources, your numbers, your weapons, your material wealth and resources that you think are the source of your strength. The victory in Badr was not because of the weapons of the Muslims. It wasn't because of the military strategy that the Prophet adopted. Those were factors. But it was because of the help of Allah. When people are fighting for His mission, then Allah sends His tranquility. He sends His angels, and miracles are wrought on the battlefield of Badr, whether it be in that time or today, through the sincerity and the faith of those who are striving to serve the right cause. And that same mistake that was made when the Christians of Najran came and the verses of the Quran were revealed, that when the time for debate comes to an end, then come to a mubahala, an imprecation, a prayer for Allah to show who is right and who is wrong. And many Muslims, they said, if the Quran says, تعالوا ندعو أبناءنا وأبناءكم ونساءنا ونساءكم وأنفسنا وأنفسكم then all of the Muslims, they should come. The numbers. The same mistake that they made in the Battle of Hunayn. They thought that we are going to show the Christians of Najran how many people we have. Now, if you're from a small town, those of you who are not from a small town, maybe you can't relate to this. I grew up in a small town. The population of the town that I grew up in was 5,000 people. So when we would go to a town that had 20,000 people, we would say, wow, this is a big city. Because the entire county where I grew up, it didn't have a mall, it didn't have a movie theater. You had to go to a big city. A big city, 40,000 people. Here now, that might just be a very small place. So if you have ever experienced being from a small town, then you might think, oh, you know what? We have a new Walmart opening up. This is a big deal. It's going to bring development. If you're from the big city, you have skyscrapers, they go up every day and you don't even realize. But if you're from a small town, then you know what? The stop sign is going to be converted to a traffic light. We're moving up in the world. There's advancement, some of you won't relate, just trust me. This is how it is. If you are from nowhere, and then you come to some place with a little bit of development, you think it's a big deal. So the Muslims, they didn't know that the Christians of Najran, they had a long history of trade and empire and scholarship and wealth. In fact, one of the names of that region of Yemen, even in Greece and in Rome, was that it was the happy part of Arabia. And Yemen in Arabic is related to Yomn, which means good luck and grace. And you see that good luck, it isn't just part of history. Maybe in history it was because they had irrigation and they had material wealth, but that name was an appropriate name because of the strength of faith and courage and reliance in Allah. But for the people of Hijaz, many of them, they come from that background where they didn't have an empire. They were from that small town. One stop sign and one gas station, and that's it. So for Hijaz, and some of those people in Medina and Mecca, you and I call Medina and Mecca a city. But Mecca and Medina were a city compared to Hijaz, where some people were Bedouins and they lived in tents, and just in small clans of 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, and they moved when it became too dry. Mecca and Medina were not cities in comparison to the cities of Yemen or in comparison to the cities of Rome and Persia. They would barely even be on the map. So for the people of Hijaz and the people of Medina and Mecca and the companions, many of them, they said, yes, Ya Rasulullah, let us all go. أبناءنا وأبناءكم نساءنا ونساءكم أنفسنا وأنفسكم, let's all go. We'll impress these people from Yemen. The Quran gives a message that implies that you are to bring your multitudes, and Allah brings 4 people, or He commands the Prophet to bring 4 people with him. Why? To explicitly say that the multitudes of Islam are only those people who represent Islam, who represent the continuity and the personification of the values of the Prophet. If you have, along with Prophet Muhammad, Imam Ali and Sayyida Fatima and Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein, then you have all of the strength that will ensure the victory of Islam. And if you don't have them, then you have nothing at all. Notice the contrast. It would have been possible for Allah to say to the Prophet, bring your family. Bring your 2 sons instead of abna'akum. Bring your daughter instead of nisa'ana wa nisa'akum. Bring Imam Ali instead of anfusana wa anfusakum. But the word is used to indicate in the plural all. A multitude. And then what the Prophet brought was 1 woman, 1 man, and 2 small children. Imagine how surprising it was for the companions, but it was to tell them that when a country boy goes to the city, then he is impressed by the hustle and bustle and by the lights. But that should not impress you. What is the value of Islam is the faith and the knowledge and the wisdom that is contained within the family of the Prophet. You can see that through history, but you just need to turn on the news and look at the world, and you can see that this is not the ma'soom, but those people who just have a love for the ma'soomeen. What a difference there is between their prayer and the prayer of those who are deprived of a connection to the ma'soomeen. What is the difference between their Islam and the Islam of everyone else? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So the value of Ghadir Khum, that lies in our connection to wilaya. In other words, Ghadir Khum, it sets the standard for what is Tawheed. Because if you don't have Imam Ali, then your knowledge of God is deficient. That's not just a slogan. Because Allah, it is His will and it is His command that Islam should triumph not through force, but through guidance and illumination over all falsehood and darkness. قُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقِّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. What is haqq? Haqq is Allah. He is al-Malikul Haqqul Mubin. And if you don't have Imam Ali, then your Ja al-Haqq is not possible. Because you never have access to the true tafsir of Quran and teachings of Islam just through a process of narrating a hadith or conjecture or qiyas, an analogy, and trying to say that maybe this is what the ruling of Islam is and maybe that is what the ruling of Islam is. It is only somebody who has the full knowledge of what was the teaching of the Prophet and who is protected from sin and error by Allah, who is going to be the manifestation of the will and the command of Allah for truth to spread in the world. So if the Quran says, Ja al-Haq, then that manifestation of Tawheed is impossible without imamat. And the preservation of Islam and the prophethood itself, that is not possible without imamat. The last thing that I want to say is that Ghadir was not the appointment of Imam Ali. It was the proclamation and the culmination of that announcement. But many of you may have heard that the appointment of Imam Ali was actually made in the very beginning of the proclamation of Islam in what is known as Da'watul Ashira, or Yawmud Dar, وَأَنذِرْ عَشِيرَتَكَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ. The Prophet was told, invite your nearest relatives. And so it was Banu Hashim or Banu Abdul Muttalib who were gathered, 40 men and their families were gathered by the Prophet, and the Prophet, he proclaimed Islam, and then he says, أَيُّكُمْ يَكُونُ أَخِي وَوَزِيرِي وَوَصِيِّي وَوَارِثِي وَقَاضِيَ دَيْنِي. Which of you is going to be my brother and my minister and my legatee and my heir and the one who will pay my debts materially, and then continue my path as the legatee and the heir after the Prophet? And it was only Imam Ali. And nobody should say, well, why did Abu Talib not stand forward? It was Abu Talib who indicated to Imam Ali that, yes, my son, this is the path for which Allah created you, and I raised you. Step forward and tell the Prophet that you are ready to fulfill that role. Imam Ali, he did not raise his hand and step forward to the exclusion of Abu Talib, but as a result of the prayers and the upbringing of Abu Talib and Fatima bint Asad, Imam Ali was the one who, even at the age of 10, stood forward and said that, Ya Rasulullah, you asked for a brother, I am ready. You asked for somebody who will be a wazir, and wizr means a burden, who will share the burden and the task of a prophethood with you. I will share that task. You ask for somebody who will carry out your command, will be your wasi, your legatee. I will do that. Who will be your heir? I will do that. And the heir is not that you are going to earn a lot of money. If somebody's wealthy and they come to me and say, do you want to be my warithi? I will say, of course. Who doesn't like free money? But the Prophet explains that when I say, أَيُّكُمْ يَكُونُ أَخِي وَوَزِيرِي وَوَصِيِّي وَوَارِثِي, this warithi is not that you're going to get all the money. وَقَاضِيَ دَيْنِي, you will be my heir in that you will pay my debts. Because of the simplicity of the life and the generosity of the Prophet, the inheritance is not luxury and comfort, but it is to continue the path. To continue to give, not to take. That was from the first day. And this is actually the sunnah of the Prophet. It is the sunnah of Allah. Because in Surah Taha, when Allah describes that Prophet whom our messenger said, he was my brother, and whom the Quran mentions so frequently because his message was the roadmap and the preparation for the prophethood of our Prophet, Musa alayhi salam. Allah says that you are to go to Fir'aun. And so you need spiritual preparation. Rabbi shrah li sadri. Oh Allah, expand my chest for me that I can carry out this task. Wa yassir li amri. Make this task possible and easy for me. وَاحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي يَفْقَهُ قَوْلِي. Clear this obstacle in my speech so that people will be able to understand what I say. وَاجْعَلْ لِي وَزِيرًا مِّنْ أَهْلِي هَارُونَ أَخِي. This is the very beginning of the mission of Prophet Musa when he is being told you have to go to Fir'aun. But from the beginning, Musa alayhi salam says that if I am to do this task, then I need somebody who will be there with me every step of the way. And you see that beautiful similarity between the message of Surah Taha and the story of Prophet Musa, and Surah Al-Sharh and the life of our Prophet in the story of Yawm Dar, or the story of Da'watul Ashira. From the very beginning, our Prophet appointed. Ghadir was the culmination. That was the formal proclamation of what had always been the message of the Prophet and the source of guidance of the Ummah. And so let us conclude with a few prayers. That, oh Allah, we know that Ghadir is not just a day of celebration. gifts, congratulations, and sweets. It is a responsibility. It is a trust. If we know our Imams and we love our Imams, and we can see through history and in the present day what that connection to the Imams does to liberate a person from subservience to evil and tyranny in the heart and in the mind and in the body, then, oh Allah, make us worthy of living up to that responsibility. If we take pride that Ahlul Bayt are our Imams, oh Allah, make us such that Imam Ali is proud that we are his Shia. That Imam Mahdi is proud that these are the ones who are my followers. And then when Ahlul Bayt call us, the days of Muharram are coming, let us not just say that, well, I'll stay home and I'll do my thing. To honor and to remember and to value this connection, let us stand up for Ahlul Bayt with our time, with our money, with our participation. Let us come together and remember and honor and strengthen our connection to Ahlul Bayt. And let us pray to Allah that on this Ghadir, when wilayat of Ahlul Bayt was proclaimed, oh Allah, allow us to be witnesses. For one, that banner raised in Ghadir will reach its final fulfillment, and that banner and that message will be spread in every corner of the world. Because it is the heir of the Prophet, and it is the heir of Imam Ali, and it is the heir of Ghadir who is going to make Ghadir a universal proclamation in the heart and on the tongue of every human being, and who will show how that message of Ghadir defeats every tyrant and every oppressor and solves every problem and every need that humanity has materially and spiritually in this world and in the hereafter. Oh Allah, we thank you that you have made us followers and lovers of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Alhamdulillah alladhi ja'alana min al-mutamassikeen biwilayati Ali ibn Abi Talib. And oh Allah, we thank you that you have made us lovers of the family of the Prophet, and we know who our Imam is. Oh Allah, hasten the appearance of our Imam and count us among his followers and his supporters, so that our lives, our efforts, our words, our actions, they are part of the mission and the victory that you have promised your Prophet and the family of your Prophet. And for the fulfillment of that dua, for the protection of all mu'mineen, for the elevation of the ranks of shuhada and the protection of their families and all of their supporters, and for their victory, the loudest of salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We do have a few minutes until the time for Salatul Maghrib. We can use that time to prepare. But there are many shuhada, and it is our obligation to remember them. They gave their lives because of their love for Ahlul Bayt. And we owe them a great deal for all of the sacrifices and the strength that they bring to Islam and to the school of Ahlul Bayt. For the shuhada of Islam, and for all of those who are struggling in the way of Allah, a heartfelt Suratul Fatiha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'een. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin.